Magic Online perfectly, including all of the bugs. I actually help maintain a Linux distribution called Bodhi Linux, B-O-D-H-I. It is an Ubuntu-based distribution that uses the Moksha desktop. I'm gonna keep this. We have a Mana Dork and hopefully the Elvish Visionary. Yeah, so part of my sponsorship agreement with MTGO traders is they lend me decks to play with. Gen 2 or exit stage, right? I use Linux to make my life easier. Compiling everything from source does not make my life easier. Please don't kill my noble. Please don't kill my noble. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Rude. Rude. How difficult are drivers on Linux these days? The only driver you have to install that's not included in the kernel, at least on most systems, is the NVIDIA driver, and it's just running one command. Pretty much everything else is built into the kernel these days. The kernel, he does more than just chicken. What the fuck is going on? Yep. All right, I don't know what you're doing, opponent, but color me interested. Color me interested. MTGO is written in .NET. .NET. All right, I think we're dead, but I don't really know what the opponent's doing, so I feel like I should watch a little bit more. Haven of the Spirit Dragon. There's someone that just cannot let Khan's block go. They just, yep, all right, excellent. Was written in crayon and translated to .NET. I agree, Anton Grimes. A lot of what people equate to user, like, interface superiority is really interface familiarity for a lot of people. Like, people just use things and they're more like, it's just, this is the way they've always done it, so of course it's going to feel more natural to them. You know, if MTGO was written in Java, it would run on everything. Search library for a creature card, reveal it, put it on top. That's really cute. Alright, let's do it. Is Reclamation Sage good enough? I guess they probably have a bunch of ascendancies. Maybe. We don't actually know if they have a bunch of ascendancies. Things written in C++ don't automatically translate cross-platform. Different compiler things and stuff like that. .NET is actually moderately cross-platform these days. The Mono has come a pretty long way. Yeah, that was my impression too, chat. That's pretty difficult. I've worked with some regular C, and getting regular C applications to run cross-platform is usually pretty terrible. Schmurdy, thanks for the 4-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. PHP better than all. Look at children. Listen, everybody sit down and listen up and let me tell you about a wonderful language called Python. Python. Anything is possible in Python, children. It is really the who's of programming languages. Pseudocode. Python is pseudocode taken too far. That's great. It's funny because it's true. I don't like change. There's Craterdom. I appreciate the honesty. I don't like it because I hate change. That's such an honest assessment. Loki with the wait. Why didn't I attack? Did I click through my? I clicked through my combat. I think. Thank you for the 4-month resubscription, Loki. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. For the people in the audience who aren't software developers or computer programmers, this is how non-Magic players feel when you talk about Magic. Just so you're aware, so you can have some context, get relatable to the rest of your life. I think I'm just gonna resto. We're kind of just beating him down here, right? I started Magic in April. Is my life screwed from now on? Well, I mean, it's cheaper than heroin. It's frowned upon less by society than heroin. I don't know if our opponent's deck has an infinite combo or if they're just like valuing us. Is it really cheaper? Legacy and heroin are fairly comparable. Okay, true. That's probably true. I think I'm actually blinking. Can I blink this Exarch and drain them to race? Is that what's happening here? Am I restoing this Inquisitor Exarch? Just gonna drain him out for the value. Oh no! All right, well, I'm gonna smack them for... I'm gonna smack them here. Wow, we're actually kind of gonna kill them, right? Do I Stonehorn here, really? No, I think we're gonna kill them. I think I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and interlude here. They're almost dead. Yeah, if they hadn't killed our thing, they'd be dead, right? Yeah, buddy. Get Inquisitor Exarch. Man, who was making fun of this card? Who was making fun of that one? Very interested to learn programming. Do you have any recommendations for a sort of boot camp? There are a lot of great introductory Python courses. There are a lot of great introductory Python. Knight of the Reliquary seems kind of stupid, right? Doesn't seem particularly good. I'm gonna bring in Swag Dad just because, like, he seems good while racing. That was a great new Phyrexia limited card. Modern staple Inquisitor here. Definitely in the top 5 Exarchs. Love it. Is Rex Sage good enough? I don't know if Rex Sage is good enough. Probably fetch basic planes, go wall plus noble next turn. If it makes you feel better, I don't have a CS degree myself. I have math degrees. Well, I have a lot of mana. I guess maybe the fact that my opponent showed us Utopia Sprawl meant the Rex Sage was going to be good enough. There we go. Modern All-Star Inquisitor Exarch joins the party. So I'll probably drain them plus Eerie Interlude to drain them plus draw a card next turn. If we don't die. They're making a buck ton of mana here. We could just get like Inferno Titans. Inferno Titan with Temur Ascendancy sounds kind of disgusting. The best is when you can do something practical. Can I get my first time out? Of course. Thank you for the bits. The best is when you can do something practical with software development for a muggle, and they like look at you like you're doing actual black magic. They're just like, what is going on? I remember I had a job during undergrad where they were changing point of sale systems, and my boss wasn't terribly bright, and they were manually translating like a 50,000 entry CSV file. And I showed up for work and they like told me what we were doing, and I was like, how long have you guys spent on this? And they were like, I don't know, like 15 hours. I was like, oh, I'm doing it in the next 30 minutes. And 30 minutes later, I handed them their converted data, and they were like, oh, this is nice. Cousin Vin, I got you, Cousin Vin. Man, we're gonna die to the... Are we about to die to the deck with Anger of the Gods? And we're about to die to the Anger of the Gods Mana Dork deck, aren't we? You're not joking, ISDs. When I spent a year working as a business analyst for an insurance company, and all I did was automate things in Excel for them. Just what do you do? Okay, you don't do this efficiently. Let's automate it. I don't think we're actually going to stabilize, right? Like we're going to 1 here and then we're dead. I think this Swag Dad's going to be a little bit too slow. Pretty sure their deck is sweeter than ours and we're dead. Stonehorn could have saved us. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Stonehorn could have saved us. 3, 4. They only have 6 mana. So they couldn't monster. Alright, I guess I'll attack first. Man, I played a lot of Thunderbreak Region. Cons was the set that was in Standard when I was grinding a bunch of IQs and Opens back in the day. Played a lot of that card. Fortunately, that doesn't do anything for us. Good games, opponent. Good games. It's funny. I have a family member who does some work with Valve, and he does level design stuff. So he's like worked with their processes and stuff. Like has a level like in CS:GO, I believe, or a couple community run CS:GO things. But anyways, like when he talks about how things work at Valve, like I'm just convinced at this point that there's no such thing as good software. Like Magic Online is like exceptionally bad software, but like good software, like genuinely good software, I'm pretty sure is just a myth at this point. It's all just being held together by like chewing gum and duct tape. All stitches, yep. Just a bunch of people throwing buckets of code onto code fires. Oh, what is it? There's a webcomic that's my favorite. Work for Twitch can confirm chewing gum and duct tape keeping this stream live right now. What's going on, Dio? It seems pretty good, right? We get to turn 1 Noble, and then we've got Inquisitor Exarch or Wall of Omens as a follow-up. I'm probably supposed to fetch Shock on 1, though, just in case they kill my Noble Hierarch. This is why I come here. So there's a webcomic that's like, once upon a time, there were only 2 people that knew how this code worked, myself and God. Now only God knows. Just remember, if you do get into software development, comments are not optional. It doesn't matter how self-documenting you think your project is as you're writing it. It's not self-documenting. Comment your code. Just future you will thank you. Someone asked what I think about Linux Mint. Linux Mint is great. Linux Mint is my recommendation for anybody that wants to try Linux for the first time on the desktop. So if you want to try desktop Linux, Linux Mint is definitely the first thing I would recommend. So Spire Bluff, Double Visions, could be Storm, could still be a fair blue-red deck. If you are happy using Windows or OS X, I'm not going to try and sell you on Linux. If you're not happy with something about Windows or OS X, give it a try. Linux allows you to have the workflow, basically any workflow that you want. It's very, very customizable. If you have specific proprietary Windows or OS X applications that aren't going to work on Linux, then Linux isn't for you. But if you're one of the many, many thousands of people in the world that basically use your computer as a glorified web browser, Linux is a great choice for that. Linux is very secure. There's very little overhead in what it does. Like, for instance, my system here, when I boot it up, before I load any applications, my system uses less than 200 megs of RAM. Whereas, like, when my Windows 10 boots up, it uses a gig or more of RAM just booting up to load the operating system. Work for a web hosting company, and I work with a bunch of college kids on their way to be software developers. What scares me most is when they refuse to comment their code/snippets. We even have a README section in our internal tools, and they put NA. The Wall is a little bit better than Visionary because I think dealing 1 damage probably isn't likely to be relevant. And if I drew a Restoration Angel, playing Restoration Angel, Blinking Wall is better. Yeah, definitely. If you are someone who is a very heavy video game player, Linux, a lot of AAA video games don't support Linux. A lot of AAA video games do not support Linux. Like I said, if you have a specific proprietary application, you should use what that specific proprietary application runs on. You should use the software that makes your life easy. It's looking more and more like Storm. It could still be a couple of things. Like, we haven't seen a sleight of hand yet, or like a Gifts Ungiven or anything like that to indicate that they're Storm. In fact, Fetch Land kind of leans towards not being Storm because a lot of the successful Storm lists recently are Fetch lists. Okay, so it looks like they're playing Blue-Red Kiln Fiend. I probably don't die next turn, famous last words. I'm gonna play the Inquisitor Exarch out. Gain a couple of health here. Yeah, I'd believe that. I'm too stupid for Linux. Try Linux Mint. As someone who does support on a Linux forum, the people who manage to install Linux and their average ability to troubleshoot their own issues is impressive. Linux has come a long way. Some very stupid people managed to install Linux for themselves. PowerShell has come a long way towards giving Windows a reasonable command line interface. I will say that. Oh, Grimes. OS X is worse than Windows. You're gonna get a timeout for not explaining yourself. Gotta use them words. We could die next turn. If they have a couple more bolts and a Teamer Battle Rage, they could kill us here. Maybe it was greedy not playing the Stonehorn Dignitary. Yeah, SSH putty is really terrible. Do you know what the best part about Linux is? It's this right here. It's my reasonable terminal emulator that has lots of features in it and has bash behind it. Every time I have to set up like Python and pip on Windows and like have to mess with Windows environmental variables and like figure out which buttons and levers I have to flip, it's just like, why? This is so annoying. You don't even have to install it to a hard drive if you don't want to. You can install it to a flash drive. Am I dead here? I feel like they're counting if I'm dead and like trying to figure out if they want to play around Path to Exile. Oh, right, they're a thing in the ice deck. Well, we get to draw 4 cards next turn. Maybe. Are they gonna flip this thing over? Programming in Windows feels like having to run an obstacle course while typing out a syntax. Yeah, we pretty much, the common consensus among people is that putty is a pile of poop, because it by and large is a pile of poop. So if you want to say something that's part of the common consensus, sure, I don't time people out for that here. Am I supposed to play this Stonehorn Dignitary? It's gonna really suck if they flip thing in the ice next turn, though. Although I guess that means I just get to Stonehorn Dignitary again. This is my stream. I get to be biased in whatever way that I want. This is my little corner of the world. So long as your viewpoints line up with my biases, I don't expect you to explain yourself, because I understand why I think the things that I do. I expect people to explain themselves if they think differently, though, because I can't understand why you think differently if you don't explain yourself. Ooh, Snapplecaster Mage. Are we dead? God, we might be dead. They have another bolt in their hand. That one's not even a timeout. You can just get out of here. You didn't get under my skin. I'm just telling you like it is. I'm just telling you like it is. That's how it is. Nope, I got to that one first, they can go away. Am I dead? If they have 2 spells here, we could be in trouble. Yeah, next turn we get to gain life out of bolt range. That is 10 out of 10 correct. That's decent. They have a remand or something here. They might be going for cantrip into cantrip to flip the thing in the ice over. Yeah, that's fair game, Trey. This is my channel. I can say whatever I want. Yeah, I'm allowed to be a hypocrite. Now, if someone asked me why putty sucked, I'd articulate myself if you don't understand. But like, again, if you want to provide a dissenting opinion, if you want to say something that's different than what is commonly thought, I can't understand why you think differently if you don't explain yourself. But like, I say putty sucks, and everybody who's used putty before is like, oh yeah, putty's pretty terrible. We shouldn't touch that. Like, it's not a surprise to anybody when I say putty sucks. Like, people that have used putty. All right, how do I actually win the game, chat? We're like kind of doing stuff here, but putty is an SSH terminal on Windows for connecting to Unix machines remotely. We're busy doing stuff. We're busy doing stuff. All right, we're gonna blink Stony here. How do we... Look, I'm gonna figure out how we win in a minute, chat. For now, just enjoy the stuff that is occurring. Just enjoy the stuff. I think we're gonna path this and start attacking in the air. What's the better alternative? I don't actually think... PowerShell can use SSH natively now on Windows, right? I'm pretty sure my Windows 10 can use it natively. Yeah, you can also install Bash natively, right? Dive Down's pretty stock in the opponent's deck. We 4-1'd with this deck on stream last week, and they had Dive Down in it. You didn't plan on attacking again, did you, opponent? I guess we do Inquisitor them pretty lethally, right? Good luck and Godspeed with Scape Shift. Wow, they're auto-passing, so that just worked, huh? Okay. I was not expecting that to work. I was expecting them to do stuff. Alright, well, resto is besto. Let's blink this Exarch here. They're almost dead, right? Oh, I did blink the same thing twice. Yeah, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. That's not how this game works. Sorry, we spent yesterday playing Hex, and that's how Hex works. Stonehorn Dignitary stacks, right? Stonehorn Dignitary stack, right? Run away! Run away! All right, so Path to Exile is great. I think Damping Sphere is actually pretty okay here, right? Acidic Slime's kind of slow. Stonehorn Dignitary is great. Obs, did you watch that game? Did you watch that game? Stonehorn Dignitary is great. Do I want Swag Dad? I kind of want Swag Dad. I think Eidolon's better? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Brutalizer Exarch probably slow. They have a hard time killing Eidolon too, right? It's a 1/4. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the inclusion of Knight. It seems kind of out of place. I agree with that assessment. I'm not trim these Kitchen Finks actually, because I think that they're kind of mediocre in the face of 0/4s, next 4s. We got the lock, chat. I can't mulligan the lock, chat. There's some people out there going, no, Hogland, you'll never draw land. It's okay, chat. You just gotta believe. You just gotta believe. What's my opinion of OSX? To me, it's the best OOB desktop experience you can get in Unity. Like, yeah, I agree with that assessment. I've used OSX before. I think it's fine. I think it has a reasonable terminal environment. If OSX had the level of support that Windows had, I would definitely use OSX as opposed to Windows. But OSX doesn't really have that much support. In fact, the level of support OSX gets in regards to most things is comparable to the level of support that Linux gets in most things. And I don't think the quality that you get from OSX compared to the price premium that you have to pay for it is worthwhile on average. I think this is a Magic Online only artwork. Yeah, OSX is macOS. Whatever you want to call it. Get that. The old one lander into hit 1, 2, 3 land drops. God bless. God bless us, everyone. I should just path this now, right? Just like not get into trouble here. F&M promo. Gosh. Remember when they used to give good promos at F&M? They could have a dive down here to protect this. Oh, I guess they could have Spell Pierce too, and I should have played this Temple Garden out because I'm shocking it anyways. Nope, dive down didn't matter. My last name is pronounced Hoagland. When I'm making fun of myself as a parody, I call myself Hogland because people often incorrectly mispronounce my name as Hogland, like a hog, like a pig. Oink, oink. Prefer Hootland. Gristle Pigs. I think I block here, right? I don't want to die to like Mutagenic Growth Battle Rage. Would like an untapped land here so we can go Witness into Path Your Idiot. If we miss on a land, I might just play this Eternal Witness out. I guess Eternal Witness gets to just block this and trade too, which is nice. Ding. Anybody order fries? Because they're dead. It's the classic one-lander, hit your first 4 land drops. God bless. God bless. And again, don't path on their turn when they're going to be able to interact with you. Just path proactively. I guess maybe they could quad spell next turn, especially if they have cantrips and I'm giving them another land. Jeffrey is so wise, that's why he's, oh, well, thanks for the bits, Lukatog, I appreciate it. I'm just gonna pick this Path to Exile back up again. And like, once I have both these witnesses in play, I can Eerie Interlude both of them and pick up Path plus Eerie Interlude. Green Snapcaster Mage, I choose you. Since they have a mana up here anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass the turn here. Alright, what's in the donation queue that's towards the top here? We got Chad Tribal. Maybe we'll play that. Play Chad Tribal. Jeskai tokens also seems interesting. I don't know, Chad Tribal. Chad Tribal's kind of fun. Did Onyx get kidnapped again? It's been a little while since I've seen him. Yeah, maybe I should upkeep Path. This mutagenic growth feels like I'm probably dead. Yeah, I assume I'm dead here. Yep. Which spell? That one right there. Anorax is busy working so we can support the stream. His bit badge doesn't just pay for itself. Did you ever play DeCandio's 4-color Pyromancer list? Yeah, I felt like it really lacked closing power. I felt like it drew a bunch of cards that didn't really do anything. It felt to me like it took the worst parts of Traverse Shadow and the worst parts of Mardu Pyromancer, kind of shoved them together. The deck did so much damage to itself that, like, not playing Death Shadow felt really weird to me. Double Path to Exile is pretty good here. The rest of the hand's, like, kind of slow and dirtily, but we're shuffling that away anyway, so it doesn't matter. Hey, we won the game. We drew a bunch of cards. Thank you very much. We won the game. We drew a bunch of cards. Our deck did its thing, and we won the game. You badmouth my sweet Princess of Dirtle. Only because the opponent scoop. Look, that Inquisitor would have gotten there eventually, okay? It's one of the 5 best Exarchs ever printed. Just pathing this now in case we draw a 2-mana thing on our turn that we want to play. The tournament you played Espergorio, was it so tilting that the love was completely over? Yeah, I was very off that deck by the end of the tournament. Probably get Divin down here. Yep. Entomber Exarch's pretty good. Entomber Exarch saw like regular play in pod. They had Teamer Battle Rage plus Dispel and hit for lethal in the air on my Path to Exile. Interlude. This Interlude deck might be a quick one, chat. It might be a quick 0-3 and out. Yeah, we had a lot of paths, ended up pushing through. Speaking of a lot of paths, we really kind of need another one here, right? We're going to 4. I guess if we curve out lands here and they don't have removal by some stroke of luck, the Stonehorn Dignitaries with Restos could easily stall this game out for us. So obviously have to chump block here because we're dead. Otherwise, it definitely won't be Eldrazi Evolution because I don't have the Eldrazi Evolution deck put together. I wasn't planning on playing that today, so I didn't look up my old list and make changes yet. Why is this deck bad? Because it's kind of slow and clunky and awkward. And even when it gets going, it doesn't guarantee to win the game. Alright, third time's the charm, right? Third time's the charm. Yeah, I agree. Our thing that we're aiming to do is kind of low on the power level, especially like in relation to what other people play in Modern. Killing people with Inquisitor Exarch is certainly sweet, though. Yeah, I don't update the queue midstream, Justin. Some of the green-white decks are fine. Is that even true? Are there green-white decks that are fine? Maybe I'm a liar. Maybe that's not true. Maybe all the green-white decks are terrible. Alright, Soul Scar Mage. Pretty sure that means I want to gain health here on 2. Pretty sure that means I want to gain health here on 2. Bogles is good. Yeah, Bogles is... Nope, I want to gain health. Doing well with a deck does not mean a deck is good. I top-8'd lots of opens with Kiki Cord. Was Kiki Cord a good deck? It was not, Chad. It was a very bad deck that I played well and ran well with. Tron is very poorly positioned because the format is very aggressive, and aggressive decks tend to run over Tron. Can I swap them for something else? Yeah, probably. I guess it's kind of awkward because you need the Jaces to Jace Storm your Emrakul back into your deck on occasion. So it's definitely useful in that manner. I think Ad Nauseam is well positioned. It's a proactive deck that has a combo finish, so it's probably never terrible. Will you update it now? That sweet, sweet Teferi Tribal should be at the top. Justin, Teferi Tribal doesn't get in the queue for another 3 days. You can't put bad decks in the queue until once a month. Once a month, Justin. Thank you for the $10 donation. I will add it after we're done streaming today. We're not playing it today. It doesn't need to be updated right away. Come on, opponent. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, okay. Watch Todd Stevens play against Affinity and watch how quickly he concedes. A lot of the aggro decks in Modern aren't good, honest, play on curve aggro decks. They're borderline combo aggro decks that brutalize you very quickly. Decks like Hallowed One that can put 12 power into play on turn 2 and turn 3. There are decks that can get under the type of things that Hallowed One is looking to do. That green-white is looking to do. Sure, Todd Stevens probably wins. He wins lots of matches of Magic. He's a very good Magic player. Very good Magic players win lots of matches of Magic with very bad decks all the time. If you enjoy playing Green-White Value Town, should you not play it? No, you should play it if you enjoy playing it. Enjoying playing what you want to play is the most important thing about playing Magic. Magic's not a job. Magic's a game you should play to have fun. But like, I'm just saying, if you're thinking about what decks are good and bad, you should put more thought into it more than, well, that deck top 8 at a tournament. By that metric, every deck in Modern is great. But we certainly know that there are decks in Modern that are better and worse than others, right? Like there's ones that put up more consistent results. Hello, opponent. My opponent has lost connection. All right. Everything in Modern is fucking tier 2. Everything. Name a deck. It's almost certainly tier 2. It's put up results somewhere. You want to name some random deck? I could probably go find a result from some Magic tournament somewhere where it put up a result. Tooth and nail. Yep, plenty of tooth and nails in top 8s. Find a tier 2 boomerang deck. I top 8'd a Modern Open with Boomerang and Vidalcan Shackles in my main deck, playing Temur Blood Moon. Had 2 copies of Boomerang in the main deck. There are so many bad decks that just do well, and it's okay. That's just the nature of how it works, you know. If you throw enough really awkward noodles at enough walls, eventually some of them stick. Eventually some of them stick. I never really had a large collection. Once upon a time, I owned Kiki Cord and stuff that was played in Kiki Cord, and then when I stopped playing Paper Magic, I sold all of that. Arguing which decks are which tiers, especially in a format like Modern, is kind of silly in my opinion, because people define what tiers are in lots of different ways. Clifftop Retreat, okay? Some kind of like prowess deck. I guess we are in the O2 bracket, huh? What decks do I think are good right now? Open MTG Goldfish and click on the metagame tab. The actual metagame percentages there are pretty inaccurate because of how WotC skews and hides data, but like the decks that are there are the better decks in the format. I think we don't have good objective measurements with which to define tiers because we don't have good Magic data. All right, who's ready to Stonehorn Dignitary the crap out of this opponent? So the idea behind Mind is that power level correlates to popularity because that's really the only metric we have. We don't have good objective metrics to define it in some other way. Well, that was like a combo. My opponent just earthquaked with Soulscar Mage out and killed my stuff. We can't calculate conversion percentages. What a conversion percentage means is how much did we start with and how much ended up in the top 8. You can't know the conversion percentages if you don't know the starting metagame distribution. And we don't know the starting metagame distribution because in paper events, it is very tedious to calculate a starting metagame distribution. So TOs don't provide it because deck lists are submitted on paper for some reason still. And on Magic Online, Wizards of the Coast hides the information that we could have about conversion percentages because they don't want you to have access to it, because Wizards of the Coast thinks data is evil. The GP metagame breakdowns are not breakdowns of what decks were played at the start of the Grand Prix. They are data at best about what decks made it into day 2 of the Grand Prix. And once you can't really calculate conversion percentages from day 2 into top 8 at a Grand Prix, because at that point, you don't know which deck started 9-0 and which decks were 7-2. So like decks that started 9-0 are more likely to convert. All right, do I just like, I think I just give them a combat step here. I'm at 16. I'm gonna go ahead and path one of these, and then I'm gonna witness back this path to exile. Wizards hides data because it's easier to blame data when formats are bad than it is to say, we messed up and we made a format that's bad. It's a straw man for poor game design. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, there's a reason why these games have variance by design, and like anybody can sit down across from anyone and have a chance to win a match of Magic against them. Like that's not how a lot of games don't work that way. We do technically have a lock-in play if they don't have any removal here. Well, that's brutal. All right. Well then. Their deck is certainly a neat idea. All right, let's Eerie Interlude these. Barbershop. Thank you for the Justin. I felt like throwing money at you, hoping you'll talk about barbershop so people will know what it is. I don't think you're going to get them to rename Lantern Control. Once upon a time, Wizards of the Coast has sent cease and desist notices to people that have tried to farm Magic Online data independently in the past, and then Wizards of the Coast has gone out of their way to make it harder to access that data in the past. They will cease and desist the shit out of you. I probably should have path to exiled their Soulscar Mage rather than their Seeker of the Way, so that way they could stop making my things smaller with removal. So they're missing their next 2 combat steps. So we're attacking them to 9 here. They missed their combat again next turn because I blinked this last turn. You can forbid the website from tracking data. You can tell the website they can't use any of your trademarks or your logos or your product's name on their site and harass them that way. We're dead, right? I think we're dead. Need another blink effect there. WotC, we've updated our privacy policy, yep. I guess maybe there's a world where we're not dead because of this path to exile. Peace, Furbidal. Have fun with the tiny monster. Cantrip in their red-white deck. What kind of madness is this? The biggest tragedy of time that Zach Elsick didn't call it barbershops. Look, like I think you're the only one that's going to think it's a tragedy, okay? So here's the thing yet again. your statement, skepticism, TCCG, whatever your username is based on the fact that data ruins games. And data doesn't ruin games. Designing shitty formats ruins games. So if you just design a good format, you won't have to worry about it being ruined by the data. I also think that, like, I think it's silly that it's taboo that Wizards bans cards on occasion. Like, I think it's perfectly fine to ban cards in TCG formats. I think it's perfectly fine to ban cards in TCG formats. No, the Soulscar mages were gonna shrink my Restoration Angel, so while I wasn't dead that turn, we were pretty much drawing to no outs. Yeah, it's probably time to stand up. It's easier to yell at nerds while I'm standing too. Like, nobody freaks out when Hearthstone nerfs stuff. Like, they're just like, yeah, this is part of the game, this is expected. Card designers are human. They weren't perfect. They didn't design a perfect game. We readjusted things. Like, banning things is like readjusting things. Yeah, I'm planning to do one more league after this, Nevik. I'm not sure what we're playing yet, though. Guess what? Wizards of the Coast could give you shit when they ban your cards. Guess what? People say they can't ban Magic cards because they cost too much. Guess who has the power to control how much Magic cards fucking cost? Oh, Wizards of the Coast, the company that can ban cards. So it's almost like the company that has the power to make things more expensive could also go in the opposite direction. So Blizzard gives you full dust when they adjust things because they're just fucking smart. Wizards of the Coast, they could do that too. They could do something similar. There's lots of options that could be explored. They don't have to acknowledge the dollar amount of the ramifications, but they could say, we banned your cards, mail us your banned rare and we'll mail you any standard legal rare. That's what they could say. They acknowledge the rarity of cards. Mail your banned cards in, get a promo. That's something they could do without acknowledging the dollar value of what these cards cost. And then you could let the players determine what cards they want to get back. That would never work. Fucking get out of here. That's my favorite. That's like a true Twitch chat Reddit comment. The fix you are suggesting is bad and would never work, but I'm not going to say why it is bad and would never work, and I'm not going to offer a reasonable alternative. Get out of here. Be constructive or go away. Like, I am perfectly fine for you telling me why it won't work, but you just saying it won't work, that's not constructive. It doesn't contribute to the conversation. It's just noise. Uh-oh, Jeff, right? It's okay to tell me I'm wrong, but, like, don't just say you're wrong, you're stupid. I know best. Say you're wrong, you're stupid because, and then educate, inform, make me a better person. I think that Wizards' pattern of behavior demonstrates they'll never do that, even if it's not a bad idea. Yeah, maybe. Like, maybe Wizards would never do it. Maybe Wizards of the Coast is also doomed to die if they don't learn to adapt and keep up their game with the times. Once upon a time, Magic was the only game in town. Magic existed because it was the only card game. Now there are lots of choices for other card games. But I saw it on Reddit that you ban people who say you're wrong, right? This should make Lightning Tribal next, please and thank you. Sounds good, Nivek. We can close with Lightning Tribal. Thank you for the bits. Sure, there's been other challengers over the years, but do you think it's unfair to say that the number of challengers that Wizards of the Coast has today that are being successful greatly differs from the ones in the past? Yes, there have been other people that tried to make card games over the years, but none of them have ever been nearly as successful as Hearthstone and some of these other digital TCGs are today in relation to Magic. I agree with your assessment that there have been lots of other competitors over the years. I just also think that a lot of them have never been as successful as the competitors that exist today. I mean, they really didn't make Modern that much cheaper, right? Like, the current cost of Modern is pretty high. Glad we fetched a basic. I like how they boarded in Blood Moon, or maybe they just didn't board it out against our 2-color deck. Rats! Can't cast her. I feel like Modern's a format that's like only increased in popularity, especially with like how much Standard has floundered in recent years. Modern has kind of gone up in popularity in relation to that too. So like every time they print more cards, there's more new players coming into Modern than there are new cards being introduced. See, the thing is, the idea that why doesn't Wizards support Modern more? Because they can make money off of it. What you have to realize is that any money Wizards stands to gain off of Modern could potentially be offset by money that they are losing from people not playing Standard. So everything has a cost. There's a give and a take. Like Modern doesn't create repeat customers like Standard does. Well, I think we're gonna get the old 0-3 here. Feeling pretty dead. I guess we could run some walls off here, right? Like, we're not just dead yet. All right, that's good blocker. We did already play Green Black Rock. We started with, that was the deck before this one. Yeah, this deck's pretty clunky. Pretty clunky. I mean, Trostani's going to be pretty good in this match if we can get her into play. But unfortunately, it's looking like that's not going to be the case. Thragtusk. 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 Inquisitor Exarch I can't cast. Womp womp. Alright, I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, and then we're gonna play something else when I come back. This deck was real bad. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a great example of why I generally reject decks that come from against the odds. That is generally why I reject those. Remember when Nivik betrayed me and started a bidding war for no reason? Put this on the Chads. All right, I guess we're playing Chad Tribal when I come back. I'll be right back. Don't go there, folks. We'll play one more league before we wrap up today. Thanks for hanging out. Everyone's having a good Monday.